Yep, see? Dust all over. But this area is smooth and it's ready. This area is ready. This one is ready. Look at this. Yep. And I got me a new coffee mug. Tam Tam coffee mug. Yep. Can you see there? Yeah, see what it says? Bite, sip, and slam. Welcome back. Glad to be back and working on the car. I took a vacation and now I'm back. Hopefully we'll be able to do something. As you can clearly see, we've already started. We've wet sanded this area and cleaned it all up. So now it's smooth and ready for the paint. As we said before, the aim is this area to be black whilst the rest is white. So the best way to tackle this is just paint the whole thing white. Then after that, mask whatever area you need to paint it black, or you don't want it to be painted black, and go on with that. Don't worry about what you see in front of you. This will be basically painted with plastic adhesion promoter, and after that it should be good. Tackling the other thing is I don't have plate holder. This one didn't come with one, and well, mine didn't come with a front clip to start with, so I bought this generic one. As you can clearly see, it's straight and it has places where you can bolt it on, and you see those. This is where basically you put the plate, which brings us to this. We needed to basically measure and center it. So I used this point and that point, lined it up on the ground, started from over here, drew a line with a pencil and measured the distance between. It came down to 62 centi, which means the center point will be 31. There it is. And from over here, I basically lined it up perfectly to the center and drew the holes. See? Now all I need to do is basically drill the holes in each of those spots, and there you go. It should fit and sit. Didn't want it to go all the way down simply because I wanted the bolts to bolt properly. That's number one. Number two, I don't want the plate to dangle, because over here you kind of need the air to get in. So over here sounds about right, looks about right. So with a small drill, start drilling spots so that you can mount this one properly. Now you can go overboard and basically drill all, but what I'm thinking, at least this section, these two over here probably, and this section. Why? Because this is flat and this one has a bit of a curvature, so you kind of need to basically line it up. Now you can use a heat gun and basically bend it just a bit. I might actually do that, just enough, although I don't want to push it simply because it's plastic, it's moldable. Like, see, I can twist it, so it's not going to be a problem. And we'll go with that. Once the holes are done, lined up perfectly, then in all technicality, we are ready for paint. Sounds good? Oh yeah, check two things. Look at this. Yep. And I got me a new coffee mug. Tam Tam coffee mug. Yep, can you see there? Yeah, see what it says? Bite, sip, and slam. Not bad, huh? Alright, let's get on with it. Enough with that. Yep, we got our screws and bolts and washers. We even got our trusty drill, and voila. 4 beautiful holes lined up. I might actually drill even more over here, but for now I'm just gonna test those 4 and see how we go with that. But yeah, I've already put pinch tiny little one to see how it goes. Now here's how it is. You got the screw and you've got washers on both sides because it's plastic at the end of the day and you don't want it to basically get ruined on the other side. So let's line it up and see how it looks. Alright. It might be a bit of a overkill, but check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bolts lined up perfectly. And yeah, sadly, I didn't have more of these, so I ended up with a black. So it looks a bit odd and weird. But check it out. I didn't even need to heat it up or something. See? It just took the shape. And from under, there you go. With the washers and pretty much everything. See, that's the reason why I needed to use as many bolts as I can, simply because this is plastic, and if one of them just got loosened up, it's gonna stuff up the whole thing. Therefore, it's always better to use this. And these are the ones that basically the tag or the plate goes into, see? So as you unscrew it, you'll be able to see. See, there you go. So that's it. Now, officially, we can say that we've got this one lined up perfectly, exactly as what we wanted, and we are ready to start the paint process. Let's remove this one and keep it aside because we're not going to use it now, and I don't want to paint it. I need to clean the area that I just created, especially with all these lines. But I'm really happy with what we've done so far. And I hope that my calculations are correct. But yeah, looking at it, it sits in the middle between both parties. So I'm happy. Easy. Now that it's sanded and pretty much ready for paint, it's time to move the mesh. Ignore Javi, she is just inspecting. As you can see, I even marked it with the L. This is for the left side, and basically it means this is how you put it. And even marked the areas where I got the screws out from. That way, when I put it back in, it'll be easy. See? You'll see smudges of red. I mean, if you had like white marker, it would be better. But yeah, and this. So over here, I'm just gonna put R for the right side, and this is shows like how it's gonna be mounted. You just remove them, and that makes it easier for you to paint, because if I'm gonna paint it white, then basically this one is gonna turn up to be white. I don't want it to be white and paint it black again. It's not gonna sit well. It's easy to remove it. That way it's easy to sand all the areas, and after all is done, you can just mount it back in. Easy. On a separate note, I thought might as well just try this newly obtained device. Yep, this is a cheap PDR tool. PDR stands for paint dent removal. Basically, you use the glue gun, glue the thingy into it and stick it out, and slowly use this machine, line it up and slowly pull. As you pull, you'll be able to hopefully pull the dent just ever so slightly. See, I'm slowly moving it. It's tiring, it's a repeated job, so you gotta have to do it multiple times to ensure that the dent itself is pulled. Now these are the major ones that I have. I've got two over here, and I've also got one over here. I don't know, you can see the dent in a way. So hopefully we'll be able to remove them. Now granted, it's not going to be perfect, but it's close as. That way I can only use minimum amount of body work putty. And that basically leaves us with this one. This one needs a bit of a hammering and a massaging in order to get it done. And this one, hopefully, just sanded and it should be okay. So, let's continue, and I'll show you how it's gonna look like once it's done. Hopefully, better. Cool. Guys, it's actually working. Check it out. This is straight. We managed to pull it. And this one also. All what I need to do is just sand and slight smidge of body filler. Heck, I can even pull this one even a bit more. Now, if you look over here, I've already started on this piece, and I also have another dent over here. Yep, you can see it. So let's try to pull this one. The trick is to leave it to dry properly. Casualty wise, yeah, because it's a cheap one. Yeah, I broke one, but hey, it doesn't matter, they gave me ample ones. Now it depends on the dent that you have. Use the proper size one. So if it's a big one, use a big one, because you need to pull basically. Let's pull this one and start on this one too. It's worth mentioning as well, it'll work better if the surface is rough, not clear. So a bit of a sanding wouldn't hurt. Anyways, remember how this one looks, and this one, it's dented. Let's pull them and see how that goes. Voila! And this is with body filler. I did apply some body filler and I left it overnight to dry, so now it is dry. I know the looks is messy as heck, But don't worry about it. Remember how bad this one was? Look how smooth. And this is before even me sanding. And this is where basically we pulled the dents and everything. Look at this side, man. And this is literally before we even sand. Now the trick, wet sand. Start wet sanding and always use the block. Why? So that you don't basically carve into it again with your hands, the contour of your hands. See how my fingers and all? When you do that, technically and accidentally, you will cause curves. Using the block, it's a flat surface and you just go smoothly. I'm starting with the 240, and after 240 probably I'm just gonna go 400, 800, 1000 and so on and so forth. We've done it a billion times, so let's get cracking on this one, finish this side, and if it all goes well, then technically speaking, this side should be ready for paint prep. I'll show you how it's gonna look like after we sand it. Yep, see? Dust all over. But this area is smooth and it's ready. This area is ready. This one is ready. There you go. Flat surface, smooth and everything. This one, not so much. Yep. You see the areas that you can see that whiteness in it? This is basically low spots. Yep, see? Needs to be filled, then sanded, then filled, then sanded. It's a process, but at least we're getting the shape back. You see over here it's just shaped correctly, except this part over here just a bit. From over here it's getting there. There you go. Over here just a bit I need to work on. This one I need a bit sanding a bit more. Yeah, but see, it's getting there. So I know it's not going to be perfect, but it's at the end of the day I'm a rookie, so I don't know how to do bodywork properly and pull the whole metal and everything, but at least we're getting somewhere. And it's getting, see, it's almost there, like you see. All right, so let's take a break. We need to clean up the mess that we created, and then after that we'll see what we're gonna do. Check it out. This is after a second layer of body filler just on the pinholes that I saw, and after that I've sanded, and now I even wet cleaned and waxed, grease, removed any dirt whatsoever. So in all technicality, it is ready for the second stage, because I still see some blemishes here and there, but do check this line. This metal is bent from the inside, but from the outside, boy, it looks nice, it looks sharp. So now we just need to put primer just to protect the metal, and that basically shows us if there is any imperfection in the bodywork. And at that point, with 1000, you can just sand it out and bring it up to spec. Sweet. Not bad. See how straight? Good job. All right, I'll be using this one. Super Cheap Auto Primer Surface, and mind you, this is a white one, so when you spray it, it's gonna look white, which is even better, simply because if there's any imperfection, you'll be able to see it. Here goes nothing. I'm just gonna lay a bit thick layer, simply because if I'm gonna wet sand on top, I'd rather have some canvas to work with. See, you can already see some blemishes here and there, or small tiny little pinholes, and that is exactly what we are after. We're after something to show us how it's gonna look like. I'm not too fussed about the wheels, let them have some overspray. I'm planning to change them anyways, so I do not care. Overall, look at it. It's actually pretty neat. Not bad. I'll continue with the rest, and over here I gotta be careful because I don't want to overspray on the paint. So I'm gonna use a board or like a cotton board or something like that. So I can't do it in one hand. As for this one, I think it should be easy. See? There you go. This one. What about this one? This one I gotta be a bit careful with. There you go. Not bad. And you can already see that it's in perfect shape. This one does not even require any work. Impressive. Yeah. So that leaves us with only this section to complete. And boy, this one is done. Psh, not bad. Huh. Anyways, continue onwards and forwards. Okay, now that we finished with this one, it's all painted and all the repair basically done to the best that we can. It's not perfect again, but it's done according to my standards. All what it needs is just wet sand with 1000 or 1500, just to ensure that everything is okay. Let's just leave this one aside and work on something else. We need to start the paint. So we've got front bumper, side skirts, and even the side skirt attachment. I've already started on these ones. So these are the attachments that we found, and they're supposed to basically hook up at the front. And yep, I'm using adhesion promoter. So basically, because it's plastic, we talked about it before, because it's plastic, you need to spray this. This will allow the paint to stick, it doesn't flake, basically. So wax grease, remove any dirt, apply what do you call it, a thin layer, let it just sit for 10-15 minutes, then another layer out of it, just to smoothen the surface, and basically it creates an area where you can basically paint. A bit of an overspray here, but it doesn't matter, let it just dry, then I'll apply a layer, another layer, that should fix the problem. So there's that. First, light coat of paint, just light, just so that it can create a bit of a surface, so that the thick coat can basically go on top. So that's why you can see through. Let this one dry for 10-15 minutes, then after that apply the thick coat, and that way you're not going to have overspray whatsoever and everything. Looking good. And there you have it. This is the second layer of paint, a bit thicker, just so that it stands out properly. Yes, I know, I can see the scratches and all. You could have just sanded it, and that way you can get rid of it. I really don't care. This is the bottom part, so this is under the car. You're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see it. So, not fussed. And keep in mind, that car didn't even have those two pieces, so now I'm adding 2 pieces extra. But so far, so good. Let's just wait until this one dries. After that, hit it with clear, and it's basically ready. Yeah, wow. Not bad. Alright, I'll get back to you guys once the clear is applied. Check. See the shine? Yep. Clear coat applied. And now I'm just waiting for it to dry. But wow, it looks nice. I know, small step for mankind, big step for humanity, or the Skyline world. I'm really happy with that. Hopefully, next video, we're gonna tackle the actual side skirt and the front bumper. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you a festive season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, until I see you next time. You take care of yourself, okay? Yalla.